Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to yet another episode of the Bald and Bonkers Show. On Saturdays and Sundays, check every inch of the web to find the latest episodes. The boys are everywhere, and no matter what anyone may try, they are here to stay. If the name hasn't warned you yet, then consider this as your viewer discretion advised. No one can restrain these two idiots, so here they come unleashed upon the world, only to become as insane as reality itself.
And reality just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
Oh, aye. Exactly. I just realised to unmute my mic there. I was like, I'll do it for me.
I mean, we got both the U.S. and now China talking about we're getting ready to gun down potentially unidentified flying objects. Before we freak out about this, ladies and gentlemen, I did a little thing about it last night. The only reason why it's the term UFO is just applying that something is in the air. They're not sure what it is. Granted, here's another thing. If it was truly extraterrestrial in nature, our guns would not be able to touch it. That has been known since the 1940s. You can go on to the FBI website, the first declassified document when it comes to the UFOs. It has like a little list of criteria, and the first thing, one of the very first things it says is that these beings do not want to cause us harm, but if we try, I'm obviously paraphrasing, if we try to start something, we will lose that fight.
I honestly, and I will say this, I've been watching this stuff all day and watching it all night and stuff like that. I don't think it's a real alien invasion, right? I think it's the governments of the world trying to do something, trying to maybe suggest something, trying to turn their eyes to the skies, is when to say to turn their eyes away from somewhere else. It's like a false flag kind of operation. I mean, they're over China now, which is suspicious, right? And it's not really an invasion, guys. Do not fall for this stuff. Do not fall for that.
There's a couple different ways it can go, to be honest. There could be some poor bastard building these things, sending them out, watching the news, and like, oh my fucking God, idiots! Secondly, if it is possibly like a prelude to the false flag alien invasion that conspiracy theorists have been talking about for years now, this is just testing the waters to see if people will fall for it. See how the public reacts. So do not start jumping to conclusions. This so-called community is horrible about doing stuff like that. Do not jump into conclusions.
It was like the one last night. It was, what was it, North Montana? Somewhere over North Montana.
Montana airspace shut down.
Yeah, we could. The guys like that. We could see the blip in the radar, and we sent the jets out, and it just disappeared in front of them. Right. A lot of people. That's what a lot of people are saying. I don't believe that's true. I believe there was an anomaly, right? There was an anomaly in the radar. Who knows if that was true until it happens? I mean, this is what I found funny today. They says they couldn't do nothing until daylight came. Come on, we've got the most sophisticated military in the world. They can't fly a fighter jet at night.
They have some of the best night vision equipment, best thermal equipment. They're saying, oh, we have to wait till the daylight because we can't see in the dark.
Exactly.
Okay, excuse me? That is a sign. No, they want the public awake and live and awake to see the action.
And I mean, I follow, and I saw the Dakota follow somebody called Elena, and she did a video on this last night. Did you see it?
But because people were messaging her about it.
Yeah. I mean, I believe her 100% that this is fake. This is set up. This is to try and scare people. Think, ooh, the aliens are coming and they're going to get their big suckers and they're going to suck your brains out and stuff. Look, guys, if the aliens did appear, I don't think an F-15 with a missile is going to shoot it down, right? Yeah. Some of these, look at that with the two jets chasing after the UFO over was it the Pacific? Remember the video came out? They couldn't even catch it, right? But now, do you really think if a visitors from outer space came here and put their spaceship in park and turned their shields off and just sat there and wait for the missile coming?
They would not sacrifice somebody like that unless it was some sort of weird prison sentence.
Do you know something I did find interesting about this? The military, when I watched the military talking about this, they says, yes, every one of them was unmanned. How do they know? How do they know they're unmanned? Because they're not real. They're decoys. It's priming you. It's getting you ready for an event that might take place as
they're testing the water.
Yeah, they're testing the water.
The public reacts. So they get enough people freaking out, they're going to launch it full force, and they're going to try to make the ones that are here, the positive ones, the ones that want to help us out, look like the bad guys.
Yeah. I mean, I do believe there'll probably be more sightings. I do believe there's got to be more sightings tonight and probably tomorrow. It's always at night time. Do you find that strange that these things come out to play? These things
nighttime for you.
Well, but night time for me, that's true. That's very true. But there was one over China, and the Chinese were going to shoot it down. But there's been no more news come out of China about that. It was seemingly it was hovering above the shoot.
Yeah, they're monitoring all the major ports. That makes it look like a very, very lazy espionage.
Yeah, it's like the start of a really bad film plotline.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. We have so many people eager to stir up shit nowadays. The CIA doesn't have to do jack, and they know it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say the word TikTok and YouTube, they're bad for this. I mean, I watched a video today, and like, first footage. I know, right? I know I go on TikToks, right? But I try and post real stuff. But anyway, just give me a minute here. You're putting me off the plot here, right? There was one guy and he says, footage from Alaska. I've got footage from Alaska, the missile heading towards the UFO over the Alaska, right? So the guy pans up, he's got some houses, right? Some cars, and then pans up to the UFO and then pans back again. What he doesn't seem to mention the palm trees growing in the street.
Yeah.
They've taken like a UFO video and they've fiddled with it and they said it's Alaska. And they used the same video for the Canadian one, the Alaskan one, right? And now they're using it for the Chinese one.
Yeah. There's a certain type of palm tree that does grow in Alaska. But this was, you could tell it was a hot country. There was people walking about with T-shirts on. Have you seen people from Alaska? They'll walk around in T-shirt and shorts in 0-degree weather.
Oh, come on. It's where that was in Alaska, because I looked that up. It was minus 44.
Yeah,
right?
It was those kind of palm trees would not really grow all that well.
No.
Unless in a very well-built greenhouse.
We could do an experiment. We could go to Alaska. I'll stay in the log cabin in front of the fire drinking hot chocolate and stuff. You can go outside and stand for like maybe half an hour. They were pointing up, with a T-shirt and shorts on,
I'm from Idaho. I'm not from Alaska. I can't handle that much cold.
I'm from Scotland. We can handle stuff. It's quite funny.
Oh shit!
It's quite funny because I live in an estate, guys, and I'm no naming where it is, but I was out the other day and I was on the estate, and they've got this new gardener and he's English, right? And he's obviously not from here, right? He's just moved here, and he was wrapped up. He had like 2 jumpers on and 3 jackets on. And there was gloves and hats. And I was standing just my jacket open, and I was like, "Aye, you chilly?" And he's like, "Oh." It wasn't cold. It was 10 Celsius.
I'll admit. When I was over in Scotland, everybody was freaking out because the weather was so nice.
Yeah. I know. I mean, like, the winter in California is like the summertime in Scotland.
Yeah, pretty damn close.
Yeah. So, Dakota, what else are we discussing tonight? What interesting, amazing things are we talking about tonight?
Well, we have a whole bunch of new people who have joined us since the last time we've had our lovely friend Elena Danon on. And quite a few of them have been sending in some questions. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are kind of creepy. But,
Oh, yeah.
And okay, I'm playing, guys. If you're watching, you don't feel bad. I understand. The subject's weird. When people realize how in-depth the subject actually gets when it comes to, like, UFOs and spirits, it's not just going around to random spots hoping to see something weird. It can get very intimate. So I understand. Don't feel bad. I thought it would be, for today's episode, we have a little fun.
Yeah,
we spin a wheel and answer some questions that we've been getting over the years. So, and I know there's some people who don't exactly like our new pre-recording format. So, if you have, we see your question,
if they don't like it, tough, I'm not caring.
Dang, there's some ladies that would feel unappreciated. We see your chats, we see the comments still. Yes. If you have any questions, we'll probably make this somewhat of a regular thing, so that way, we still hear you.
I think you can ask any question you want, and we will put it into the wheel of madness.
No, don't.
Come on, man. Yes, I insist. Any question you want. Any question you want.
This is going to be a very X-rated show if you go that far, man. Just knowing how weird
within reason. Within reason.
All right. So, shall we spin?
Just spin the wheel of madness. That's going to look laggy one, that, isn't it? Really moving for me. I guess it's a...
Oh, you fuckers. Does Dakota actually do investigations? I've never seen one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just because I don't post my day-to-day life on YouTube, don't mean shit ain't going down. Yes, I do get involved in investigations. It's just that sometimes when I get involved, the situation gets kind of dark, very personal, and it just doesn't feel right to be talking about it. I mean, they're okay. They know I do kind of a media of reproach, so they're okay with me referencing it. But, I mean, I've had divorces happen because of my cases, man. And no, not just because I slept with the wife. I would have, but that didn't happen.
What did that happen with the husband?
No. The husband was beating the crap out of the wife, so the mother-in-law was trying to say enough is enough. That's what basically what happened. And the mother-in-law's been dead for about 10 plus years before this case took place. So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Shall we spin again?
Spin it again, dear fellow.
So I'll say there's some questions directed towards Chris, some directed towards me, some just kind of general. You don't get to know us.
Nah, spin it again.
Let's see if I lag out.
Oh, fuck. Right, I can't take this one.
We got to address some of the haters with this one. We got to address some of the haters with this one.
Right, I'll admit, I do watch a lot of supernatural stuff. I watch. These are my main shows that I watch, and then Dakota can go, obviously. I watch Dave Schrader's Ghost of Devil's Perch. I always watch that. I watch really just Dave Schrader. My Home is Haunted. With Neil Story and stuff like that. I watch that too.
Yeah, we got to pimp Neil Story out since he's a friend of ours.
Doctor Who. No, I think that's a pile of pish. To be purely honest with you, that's the kind of person I am. I'm not really into kind of sci-fi stuff like that.
Okay.
I do like watching. I will admit, I do watch sci-fi stuff like maybe The Last of Us and The Walking Dead and stuff like that. But that's me for that.
All right, for this one, I know they're not just being general supernatural episodes. There's a show over here, well, you guys get it over in the UK, called Supernatural. And no, not the documentary narrated by Benedict Cumberbatch. It's basically, it's a show that's based around American lore. So like Wendigo, ghosts. It actually, first few seasons are actually fairly accurate as far as investigations goes. Obviously, with some creative differences. And I'll be honest, yes, some of the stories from my investigation sound like they're ripoffs of Supernatural episodes, but I didn't start watching that show until about season 10 came out, and that's mainly because we were desperate to get my sister off of watching constant Disney shows.
Can I just say something there? When did Supernatural first come out? Because you'd be quite young.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, but what, you be 5 or something at the time, or 10?
See, Supernatural came out in 2005, so I would have been about 9 years old when that happened.
There you
now,
go.
My mother would let me watch kind of brutal shows like that. My first TV exposure to a naked woman was Doom with Dwayne Johnson. Her arm was cut off and she was already partially zombified. As for like Doctor Who, I've seen constant clips on TikTok, but that's about it. I've never actually sat down and watched it.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to annoy a lot of folk, but I'm going to please a lot of folk at the same time too. Doctor Who is a British thing, right? I remember it going all the way back to the 80s. Yes, I'm 41 years old. I'll be 42 this year. I'm older than Dakota. I liked the old episodes better. When it started all this with David Tennant, it was awfully good. But when it started getting like newer people in it and that, I just thought it was getting more and more pisher. I like the older ones. I do like the older ones better. You know? But,
all right, so yes, we do watch it, but no, that's not where we're getting our shit from. That's what we're saying. So,
spin it again.
On to the next question. I love how
fun.
it's bringing out the insults first.
I know. Ooh.
Had someone ask me this after the Elena show. All right. Okay. It's kind of a long story, so I'll try to keep it as brief as I can. The question is, how did Dakota get pictures of his family? And I bet they mean my Star family. So the short version of it is through the use of AI. There was enough information from multiple different eyewitnesses who claimed to see the same thing to where I was able to use some of the newer AI programs to generate those pictures, and they are scary accurate.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the short version. The long version is a whole nother video in itself.
Oh yeah, that's about 2 hours long or something.
As this guy has personally witnessed.
I've witnessed it. I've even witnessed his family too. I can put my hand to God for that. There you go.
Anyway, and would you say the photos I made up are fairly accurate?
They're very accurate. Very
right.
accurate. There you go.
All right. So, on to the next.
Oh, spinny.
How did we come up with Bald and Bonkers?
Well, that's quite an easy one. That 1, we're bald, and 2, we're bonkers. Oh, the smoke alarm's going off. Somebody's burning toast. I'll have to mute my mic.
That's not on my end. That's
no,
not on my end.
It's my
no, I'm just saying, remember what happened with Elena? What happened with Elena? My mom started burning the house down.
Yeah. I mean, anyway. Bald and Bonkers, we used to work with a research company for a long time. And that, well, it didn't really work. It was more kind of just like, we did it for free kind of thing. And we met there and we thought about bringing out a show. And we called it Bald and Bonkers because we're both bald and we're both bonkers. Dakota, do you want to say your half? How we...
So, yeah, like Chris said, we did meet through another company that was trying to legitimize paranormal research. And unfortunately, that fell apart due to some rather serious allegations that came forward. It was tried in a court. The person was found guilty, and it just fell apart from there. Chris and I, we started doing shows with them, and it just worked. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, we were the top-rated shows with that company. We did 2 shows a week like we do now. The name Bald and Bonkers that was kind of a joke that just kind of took on a life of its own. Because I was using that Reface app and, trying to figure out creative ways to promote the shows, and I was just looking for something. The alliteration sounded good, so
it did.
We started going about it, and it just stuck. So that's how Bald and Bonkers was born.
Yes. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Spin that wheel again.
On to the next. You gotta admit, this is kind of fun. We should.
That's actually kind of fun, actually. It's no spinning for me. It's kind of noon again. It's spinning.
Yeah. Chris, this one's for you.
I knew this one was going to come up. Well, what inspired me to go Squad Scotland? I've had a lot of people asking me about Go Squad Scotland. Well, I've done Bald and Bonkers, right? And we interviewed a lot of top people in the paranormal, and we were friends with this. This is actually a true story of what made me do this, right? I've never really told anybody this. I always tell the quote, the short version, but with a friend, and his name was Mike, the Naked Bigfoot, and he always said you should go out and explore this magical world, right? And strange world. And I say something one day, I suppose, Ken, something, let's do that. And it just started there. We started going out. I've always had a fascination with the spirit world and the aliens. But Go Squad Scotland's mere just paranormal, right? And I started going out to graveyards and castles and remote abandoned places. And that's honestly, because I'm in Scotland, let's face it, it's one of the most oldest countries in the world, one of the most amazing countries in the world, making him jealous here. And Brian watches the show, he's jealous because I've got so many castles round about me. Why not? Because I've got castles round about me, I've got everything round about me. And that's what inspired me today, Go Squad Scotland. Can't say it any better than that.
No, I don't know. I can say, some people may not know this, but I went to Ireland and Scotland for one of those EF tours, and I gotta say, I couldn't find one my size. And I was like, I started having experiences while I was over there. Edinburgh Castle. Now, some of you may not know, we've actually found out that on my mom's side, I'm actually a descendant of Mary Stuart. Now, all of a sudden, we were just walking around the castle grounds, and all of a sudden, I would see this woman dressed up in that kind of attire, just kind of watching me, looking, kind of eyeballing me, trying to figure out if she had the look on her face like she recognized me from somewhere, but didn't know where. Because when I first started catching her, got a full-on good view of her, I'm fairly certain it was Mary, but she looked like my mother.
The ghost was probably like, my God, that's a very strange-looking American there. I've seen lots of them here.
Well, also, you got to admit, this is kind of going into the UFO subject, but Mary Stuart, that family line is actually, this is something Elena pointed out in her last book, her bloodline actually can be traced back to none other but Ea or Enki. Yeah. And is believed to be where psychic abilities actually came from. So, Mary Stuart may have actually been a psychic.
That's actually, there's something that's just popped into my head right now, and this is going to shock you. See how you see Mary Stuart? Her last name is Stuart.
We're related, aren't
we? My auntie's last name is Stuart.
Is there a relation?
I think my auntie married a man, obviously, and his
married
name was his. Yeah, married into the name Stuart. Yeah, and it's actually was a clan. It was a clan. He is for that side of the clan, Stuart.
Okay, I gotta fucking take a DNA test, man. This is getting a little spooky. No wonder we look alike.
It was
my
father.
Be related.
It was my father's sister married a man called George Stewart, and his clan was Stewart's.
And this is the first time we have had this conversation, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'd never really heard you say that before. I've never heard you talk about the Stewarts.
Yeah, you have. I've mentioned this story before, man.
I didn't
Well, shows how much you pay attention. No wonder you have so many women issues. Shall we spin?
I know. Spin it again.
Okay. Oh, crap.
God. Right. This has got to be a long show. I'm just going to mute my mic now. Go for a sleep.
It's actually not as heartwarming of a story as people may think. Again, this is kind of ties back into how I got the photos. Okay, but basically, when I set this thing up, I was trying to put together all the common questions Chris and I both get, and unfortunately, that question's become a lot. I became aware that something was there, not necessarily realizing to what extent yet, when I was about 12 years old, and these things, well, they stopped me from taking my own life. It wasn't until years on later, shortly after I met Chris and a whole slew of other people that helped piece things together, Elena Danon especially, that I realized that my family's coming from the sky, so that's got to be the shortest way I've ever figured out how to say it.
Yeah. I was going to go to sleep then and wake up about an hour later or something.
Yeah, no. No. We still got plenty more. It is an interesting story, and
an interesting story.
There's people that have been asking if I've done a video on it. No, I have mentioned bits and pieces. It's just that it seems like every time I go to sit down to write something out, something new happens that's connected to it.
Well, you've actually got a book on it.
Check that out.
You've got a book on it.
Not. It doesn't really go into. Yes, it dances around the idea that they may be related, but it doesn't have kind of the latest stuff I've dug up.
Okay.
So
spin that wheel.
Yes, I do have books out there. Just look up my name, Dakota France, and you should be able to find them.
Yeah. So you go, ladies and gentlemen. Spin it.
Spin the wheel. Pick on Chris this time, please.
I pick on Dakota again. Oh, see, I think that would be you again.
Well, for this show, obviously, try to keep connecting to more people. You know, hit harder on the subjects that are happening. With the company itself, the idea is to make it a resource for people of all walks of life to be able to get help to make their dreams happen if they have any sort of creative measure. I mean, we can help publish books, music. We have a press release service mostly for the U.S. We're trying to find partners for like the UK and Canada and Australia especially, since that's where most of our followers seem to be from.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot of things coming forward, and that would be a whole nother video presentation and, you know, make
big things are
like
coming with Bald and Bonkers. Yeah, we're heading to amazing places.
And depending on if the subject doesn't beat us to the punch, we are trying to put together a UFO-based documentary. So,
yes, that's right.
Which should be very interesting when that comes out. When that comes out, it will happen.
Hit that spin button, dear fellow.
Okay, dear wheel. Can you pick on Chris?
Pick on Chris.
Pick on Chris. Pick on Chris. You son of a bitch.
Come on.
Well, this puts on both of us.
How did Chris and Dakota meet? Again, we met in the same place as we come up with the name for Bald and Bonkers. Really? Yeah. Again, it was the same kind of place. I'm just going to say the place because I don't like mentioning the name. I never have been like mentioning the name. We bumped into each other. We started doing these shows. Well, shows before Bald and Bonkers. We started experiencing new and strange things, like alien stuff and spiritual stuff. And really, that's how it all happened. These last 3 years now? 2 years? 3 years?
All together, starting to go on. Actually, you know what I realized, Chris?
What?
2 years ago, we had one, from the date this is recorded, so February 12th. 2 years ago, we had one of our scariest incidents yet. On the day.
Really? What was that? I can't remember. I'm getting old now.
Really? You're afraid every time even the conversation gets close to mentioning this guy's name.
Oh, you mean... Oh, yeah, right. I know what you mean.
2 years ago today, that shit went down.
Really? That's weird because I've had a terrible migraine all day. That's maybe something to do with this weird...
I've also been having these weird... I know I'm being taken again, but the vision they're leaving me behind with...
Who is taking
weird.
you? That's a question.
Here's the weird thing. I keep... when I'm being taken, I swear I keep seeing what looks like... Okay, you know in the Matrix where they have a little plug on the back of their head? I'm seeing little stuff like that all over my skull. And I'm just like... it's like, if they're not metal, but they're kind of
Have you broke your pod again? Did they have to get
I'm
you a
starting
new
to
one?
wonder. I'm starting to wonder if... I don't know. It's just like the plugs are
the
there,
guy's been fixing your pod and he's accidentally dropped the wrench on your head.
It's like, no, they're not. The plugs aren't metal. They're more like gel.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing these little gel plugs all over my head. Like, the hell's going on? And I like physically remember being inside of a pod, like something's getting ready to malfunction, or
strange.
They're getting ready to let my other body out.
Tonight, I had one of my really bad migraines today, and I actually had to go and lie down. That's how bad it was. My head felt like it was like somebody had put it in a vice and they were squeezing it. It was really, really bad. So that may have something to do with it. So there you go.
I don't know. Like I said, today happens to be kind of a nasty anniversary for us, and I only remember that because I got the Google alerts on it.
Well, let's hopefully tomorrow I wake up feeling better. So.
Yeah, well, then again, it is Valentine's Day this week, so
did you
already know this shit's going down.
Have you had any cards sent to you yet for Valentine's Day? I've not had any either. I didn't get anybody ever sends me one. Terrible. If you would like to send any...
Well, you're not getting one from me.
If you would like to send any Valentine's card, please use the email. Any lonely ladies out there, this gentleman here is single. This young man here.
I'm married to an alien.
It doesn't matter.
Technically, it doesn't break any rules, but...
It doesn't break any rules, and it can make things more
technically
exciting.
Break any rules, but it may not break any rules, but now that I know, it just feels weird, especially knowing that I may have kids that may go, not the mama.
See, it might be the same for me, but luckily, I can't remember either, so I have that to look forward to. So if you've any of you single girls out there, this man here is single, so am I, mind you, but write to Bald and Bonkers. Do you want to put it in the chat? If you want to email this amazing guy here, is single.
Well.
He's in the United States. You never know. Send a Valentine's Day card for Dakota.
Even though this is going to be released a week after.
I know.
So Valentine's will already be over, but there's plenty of desperate women out there.
I know. We're single. I'm going to admit it right now. I'm single.
Having gotten to know you, that is not surprising. Anyway, shall we spin?
Spin number 10,
yeah. Pick on Chris, will ya?
Pick on Dakota. Oh, only go Dakota. You explain
Bald
this
and
one.
Bonkers. Bald and Bonkers TV. We actually have an online streaming network that runs like old-fashioned TV. And you can catch all of our episodes. You can catch gaming videos. There's, merchandise videos on there as well. Well, we do offer syndication services to where if you have all you need is like a YouTube channel.
That's right.
We can get you on there as well. We may be able to soon also offer leases, so we can host your channel for you.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. We got music, we got shopping, we got gaming, we have Strange.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And,
We've got, who else streams this? It's Drew Illingsworth. He's Living History.
We have Living Histories Mysteries. We have Smith Family. I see they're getting back in the game, so good on that. Good on that. We have, gaming videos. It's going to be open for everybody, and as this develops, this will help get your videos out to even more people, and there will be plans in the future to have an app developed, so that way you can get it on your phone, Android, iPhone, Roku, and basically we're going to make these things happen, and guess what? We're not going to ask you to slap any logos of ours onto your stuff. Here's my thought process. If we actually do a good job and actually help get you out there, you're already going to be putting it out there. Yeah. It's like, so our goal is to actually produce some quality, not to,
and don't be shy either. I mean, if you've only got a little channel and you think that you want to start getting into this kind of stuff, just contact Bald and Bonkers. You never know.
Exactly.
Get what I mean?
Exactly. And you know what? As the TV network is, with the next expansion, it will allow us to run commercials, so we can actually start getting you a little extra money on the side. And all you have to do is just keep producing your own videos. We're not going to tell you how to do it. There's going to just be like a couple technical things just to make sure everything works smoothly, but that's it.
Yeah. So you should think about it, guys. So anyway, spin that wheel again. Pick on Dakota. Come on.
Oh, come on.
Come on. I'm all choked up in it's weird. I'm choked up migraine.
Ooh. What is
guest?
one guest you'd love to have on the show?
Well, there is somebody I would love to get for an interview. Is Dr. Stephen Greer.
Yes, that is somebody I have actually tried to reach out to. It's just that finding the right schedule has been difficult.
He's a very interesting individual, and actually I would love to hear what he's got to say about what's happening around the world with these strange sightings.
Oh, I imagine he's got a lot to say, especially with the strange UFOs being shot down.
Yeah.
Now, well, if I had to pick someone else, because Dr. Greer is a good pick, let's see, Greg Braden.
Right.
He's an author who talks about like the Divine Matrix. Dr. Greer and Elena both reference his works all the time.
I thought you were going to say William Shatner there too.
Well, that's another one, but they're saying they're asking one guest.
I know.
Shatner, Bill. Actually, for those of you who don't know, Bald and Bonkers, we do actually have a small share in a production company that is producing a documentary with Bill, so maybe we can get something to happen.
Mm-hmm. But you're saying about that guy that you wanted on? Do tell more.
Oh, Dr. Frank, he talks about a lot with the Divine Matrix, how, manifestation works, the different types of anomalies that are associated, like how prayer can actually affect magnetic fields of the human body, and if enough...
I did not know that. That's very interesting.
In fact, did you know, and this is actually one of them, that there's several number generators, and as well as magnetic field devices around that monitor all over the world. Roughly 15 minutes after the plane struck the World Trade Center on 9/11, all of a sudden the random number generators all started producing the exact same sequences, and the magnetic field of the Earth, let's say within 15 minutes of the planes hitting the tower, all of a sudden the magnetic field of the Earth got stronger.
That's so strange.
And what it's believed is that because so many people were freaking out, it actually affected and boosted the magnetic field of the Earth? It's a very interesting topic, and Dr. Braden is someone I've reached out to, but again, we have to hit certain criteria that we're just barely starting to touch on. So be sure to share this out to all your friends and family so we can get even more interesting guests on.
Yep. So, that's very interesting.
All right.
Spin that wheel again. Pick on Dakota again.
All right. I got to find some more questions for you the next time we do this.
Ooh. What's that?
Uh-oh.
Oh, right. Here we go. Why did
one.
you guys start pre-recording? I miss being able to interact with you live. Well, Dakota, I think this is your kind of question here. I'm going to let you answer this one.
Why am I always having to take the hard shit?
You're the CEO. You're the man in charge. You answer this.
So Chris practically begged me to start up a pre-recorded session so we can start imitating. This. Here's the thing: the reason why he's getting pissed is because technically this is true. I said, we should go do a pre-recorded session. That's what Dave Schrader does.
No.
Yes, this is exactly what you said. Don't you start lying to me.
You know, YouTube doesn't really like it when we do so many lives. You should tell me that.
That wasn't me.
I was. You tell me YouTube doesn't like it because we did too many lives.
It was not me that brought that up.
Was it not?
Directly.
It
was Brian.
Was it Brian? Was it your fault, Brian?
So part of it, part of it is to try to free up our schedule, to try to free up the shows a little bit so we can try to focus more on the guest. Yeah. Because honestly, we do love being able to interact with you guys, and yes, we will do live events like we did with Elena. When we, just to make it more special, but the live situation, yes, it does actually hurt you on YouTube. So what we've started doing is, when we do the pre-recording, it also goes out. It goes out to our Patreon, our Twitch, the We Are Light Twitter page, Trovo, and DLive. Yeah. And with Twitch, you can actually go in and upload your videos from there onto YouTube. So we set that as a premiere a week later. This also allows us to kind of sync everything up so that when the podcast version comes out, it comes out the same time as the main presentation.
Yeah. Plus, right now we're actually live through Twitch. So if you actually wanted to watch this live, you would watch us through Twitch.
Yeah, you can still get us through live through a Patreon or Twitch. Yeah. Yes, Patreon is $5 a month, but we do have a documentary we're trying to fund. We're also all the funds that we put together for this bring together go back into making this company happen, as well as I want to make sure that the people who work with us, they're able to get compensated for their time because times are tough and they're only about to get worse.
Yeah. So please check out all other lives that we do, well, pre-recorded lives, but check out all the channels, But we've actually got one person watching us now.
Yeah, through Twitch.
Through Twitch.
And I will say this, with Bald and Bonkers TV, as that goes to expand, there's going to be exclusive content on there that you will not find on other channels. Maybe through our Patreon as well, but like I said, we're building up to something big, and it's going to take some time. Yeah. Pending the world doesn't end between now and then.
And there's no fake alien invasion and big giant octopuses come down and take everybody away. But I doubt that's going to happen. So let's spin the wheel.
It's not going to play out like you think it will. So on to the next.
Come on, ask Dakota a question.
I've been getting a lot of them.
I know. Ooh,
what is the course you guys are going to offer? Will there be more?
Well, I'm actually thinking of renting Dakota out for the night. If there's any lonely ladies out there, please email Bald and Bonkers. We can arrange something,
I may have to make you take the course so you actually know how the hell to run shit. So, all right.
Point der Press! Station! Der
All right. Main joke aside, the course we're actually going to offer is for anybody who actually wants to start doing kind of podcasting, but maybe intimidated, but because they don't think they have the money or the following to make things really happen. A lot of people don't know this. When I got my start when it comes to investigations as well as podcasting, I was still a kid in high school. So obviously, funding was not that great.
Yeah.
So with this course, the monthly fees to do the bare minimum for it, for lack of a better word, I know that doesn't sound right, but to get your start will cost less than a Starbucks addiction.
I've never been to Starbucks. How much is Starbucks?
It's a coffee joint.
I know it's a coffee joint, but it's somewhere that I've never really went. How much is a? How much?
I don't know. I don't. I'll say I know people that spend like over $80-$90 just on their Starbucks for the month. And that's a daily run.
I've just noticed something. Look at these strange adverts that we're getting up the top there. I just seen for lingerie there.
Yeah, I did see that.
That's
not us. That's just on the website where you're running.
It's what he's been looking up before the show, guys. Just it's okay. It's
fine. Don't expose the fact that I like to cross-dress, you thick bastard.
Oh, you like to dress like that. Don't tell everybody what you do in private,
Well, hey, I'm not going on to that foot fetish website. There's a serial killer out there. And I'm not joking.
Oh, so they kick you to death?
He chops off women's feet while
God.
drowning them. And
I think you'll be safe because you're not
play with them. He also likes to call police dispatch centers while these women are dying and describe to the female operators what he would like to do to them. This is how I became aware of it.
Let's move on to the question.
Yeah, this is like Dakota actually knows something about an active serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck you pervert. Anyway.
So let's spin that wheel again.
Hey, you got notion to protect you from this guy. I don't. Is it true you guys are working on a documentary? Yes, but it's in its very, very early stages.
Yes. Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting.
Put something together once it comes together. But this is obviously, technically with everything that's available nowadays, and I've done it before, it does not take much to put together a documentary and get it out there these days. But with this in the topic, for how sensitive it is and what our goals with it are, I want to make sure this thing gets done right. So the main problem we're running into now is getting the funding together. So if you can look into the description of our show, you can see a merch, you can see all sorts of fun little stuff that we have. All the funds go into making company operations happen, including the documentary.
Or you're a multi-millionaire and you've got some extra cash and you want to donate it, please donate to Bald and Bonkers and make it happen.
Yes, our Venmo and our PayPal are in the description as well.
So. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So, spin that wheel again. This is fun, isn't it? This is fun.
Yeah, no, we should make this kind of a regular thing. If you had the chance to investigate any one location for ghosts, cryptids, or UFOs, where would it be?
If it was UFOs, I would like to go to a location that I talk to Dakota quite often about is Mount Shasta.
Oh, you took mine, you bastard.
Oh, you wanted me to go first. I mean, I would like to go there. If it was ghosts, if it was ghosts, that's a hard one. I think ghosts. I would like to go to Dracula's castle You know, the last time I brought that subject up, half the chat wanted to sacrifice me.
Oh, I remember that. Sorry about that, by the way.
Cryptids, I'm not really in. I don't really know that much about cryptids. I'm very sorry. I don't really. If he was still alive, I would have liked to have went and visited Mike the Naked Bigfoot's farm and witnessed the what do you call it, Bigfoot.
Yeah, apparently, I didn't realize this until after Atlanta brought it up. Not too far from where Mike lived is actually a base where the Galactic Federation was meeting up for disclosure protocol. Now, for me, Mount Shasta is a big one. It's allegedly got a Bigfoot population as well as being one of the highest ranking UFO hotspots out there. I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed that anybody who visits is going to see something over there. For ghosts, this is how you know Chris and I spend way too much, because Dracula's Castle is one place I want to go, and I still got to make the sacrificial merch.
Wait, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, message in the chat who thinks Dakota or I, what one of us should be sacrificed at Dracula's Castle.
Should we at least explain the story?
You want to go.
Should we at least? Okay. It was the second time we actually had Barry Fitzgerald on. I had to take some time off because I was in the middle of the move, and this bastard replaced me with our friend Lisa Fry for that one, even though he knew I was already settled in the halfway point. So they got to talking about Dracula's Castle, and Barry actually mentioned that he had an encounter with this kind of like warrior woman riding a lion.
Wow.
That asked him what the hell they were doing there. Here's the thing. Vlad the Impaler, the real-life Dracula, his father was essentially part of a cult that had a warrior woman who rid a lion. It was the name of a specific type of goddess. So I randomly made a joke saying that, oh, ladies and gentlemen, if we get to Dracula's Castle, we will sacrifice Chris. Then all of a sudden, everybody in that chat started saying, oh, I want to go to Dracula's Castle. I want to go to Dracula's Castle. I just said, we're going to sacrifice Chris, but I want to go to Dracula's Castle. We're going to sacrifice Chris.
I will remember that. I will remember that for the people.
I did not expect it to get that bad, man. That was wow. That concerned me.
But I would pay to see you riding a lion. You know.
I wanted to see this sexy warrior woman, but no. Anyway.
Spin the wheel again.
Probably kill me, but Oh, it's about time this one came up. Do you guys believe there's a fake alien invasion coming?
I'm going to do a President Barack Obama. I can either confirm or deny.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
I would, right, honestly, I do feel that they're trying to open it up, right? I do feel that they're trying to trick people and make them think with social media and stuff that something's happening. But I don't think it's a fake alien invasion just yet. I think they're just testing the water. And that's exactly what Dakota said before the start. Dakota?
Yeah. It's a little too easy. It's definitely feels like the prelude that they're testing the water to see if they could get any traction. But it may go somewhere because we had that many stupid people. I don't know.
Exactly, we do.
I firmly believe this next month and a half is going to get very interesting.
I mean, I've been watching YouTube. I was watching YouTube tonight about it and TikTok again. I know, TikTok. And the flat earthers, I couldn't help myself. The flat earthers, we need to get a flat earther on here so I can interview him.
Oh, they're too scared.
It's pods coming down from the firmament. They're coming down. They're coming down to us to take us to the other side. But otherwise,
you know, it kind of scares me. Really think about it. You know, you had like the Heaven's Gate suicide call talking about if they all killed themselves, a UFO would intercept their souls and get them out of here. Then you talk going to starseeds, and that's exactly what they describe going on. It's like, you tell me those crazy people actually were on the right track.
Yeah. But you can't make some people are like they're raving lunatics. You know what I mean? They believe stuff. As I said at the start of the show, people are believing things that aren't real.
They do have some surviving members, and that is honestly a show I've been tempted to try to organize.
We'll need to see about that. You know?
I don't know. We'll probably get flagged big time for that one.
Probably. Let's spin the wheel again. Come on, give me a question. Let's see who's got a ham. Ooh, I like how it makes the noise it makes. Clicky. Ooh, what is that?
What got you guys interested in the paranormal or UFOs? Chris, go first because you keep trying to embarrass me.
What got me interested in ghosts? Right, first of all, I grew up in a haunted house. I'll do the ghost side first. We grew up in a haunted house, still is haunted to this day. Probably is in this room now, for all I know. The spirit's probably watching it. I've had a fascination with life after death. I wanted to know what happened when you died. I wanted to know if I would see my loved ones again. Right? That's my kind of paranormal side. The UFO stuff has always kind of happened to me. I've had encounters. I've seen UFOs, multiple UFOs. I've had weird experiences. I've had like implants. I've just had weird things happen to me. And then I bumped into him here. I blame him. And then it all just exploded, and now I'm encountering strange things for beyond the solar system, and they come to me regular every night. Dakota?
Oh, for me, the situation, the paranormal's always been around me. I was one of those psychic kids. You know, there's a story that my aunt used to tell where there was this one day I ran up to my stepmom, put my hand on her stomach, and said, "My baby sister's in here." Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, my baby sister's in here. So they just thought, little kid, you know, just weird imagination. Next day, my aunt feels ill, goes to the doctor, because she's a woman. They run a pregnancy test, and guess what? She's pregnant.
Yep.
So that always was kind of normal for me. I didn't quite realize that it didn't happen to everyone until I was 9 years old. And I was at the old Idaho State Penitentiary and saw the image of a man hanging of himself. Not like a picture. I swore I saw a man that was chained up, had the noose put around his neck, and dropped to the floor. I ran, screamed, "Help, help, help. There's somebody in there. There's somebody choking." I looked back. The man was gone. And not gone as in he died. No, he was just completely not there. 2 years later, Ghost Adventures happened to come through town to film for their first season. They caught the image of the exact man I saw. His name was Raymond Stone, who was referred to as Idaho's Jack the Ripper. So, not only did I see a man be executed, I saw a serial killer.
There you go.
That was what brought it to my attention that it wasn't normal for UFOs. There's a lot of military bases around me. You know, that balloon that got shot off the coast of Carolina was actually, they believe it actually flew through a couple bases not too far from me, as well as the nuclear laboratory. There was an incident when I was 5 years old where all of a sudden I ended up 30 miles away from home. No one knew how I did it. And besides people saying, "Oh, one of your parents must have dropped you off," my mother called my grandparents the next morning freaking out, thinking that I got kidnapped. And it was my grandparents' house I turned up at. So they still had no clue, even though I tried to hint to them that there's an ET element involved. They still just blow me off. So they're in for a wake-up call.
They definitely are in for a wake-up call with things that's going to happen soon, you know?
Yeah, I'm
But anyway,
trying to tell them, but they make fun of it, and it's just like, why do I even bother talking to you people?
I know. We've actually not got very long left of the show. Do you want to spin it a couple of more times? See what happens?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's better. Ooh, just spinny. Ooh.
Ooh. If you could only prove that either UFOs, cryptids, or ghosts were real, which would you pick and why?
Alright, I'm going to say that. I'll do this one. I would pick UFOs. And the reason I would do that is because I know that there is life after death. I just know there is. Right? For all the experiences I've had, all the people that I've spoke to, all the ghost hunts I've been on, I know life after death keeps, when you die you go somewhere. Cryptids, I do believe there is Bigfoot and Sasquatch and stuff like that. I do believe there is entities like that. I would say UFOs because if we could prove that UFOs are visitors, if we could prove that there's visitors from other worlds, we could make this world such a better place. The technology alone could save this entire planet. We could, in 100 years, we could start travelling to the outer stars and beyond. Dakota, how about you?
Well, when it comes to cryptids, people don't realize that it means nothing more than trying to understand animals that science doesn't officially recognize. There's several animals that we have nowadays that were once considered cryptids, so that's a very relative term. Ghosts, well, there is no ethical way to really look into ghosts as we understand them as beings, somehow the soul of beings that have passed on still hanging around. There's no ethical way of doing it. The main reason we have some sort of connection is because some sort of fucked up shit happened, and we realized, wait a sec, but that's a whole nother discussion. Right now, UFOs are going to be the big one to prove, and that's about to happen very soon.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt.
Soon, I mean really soon. And if you are interested in UFOs and aliens and stuff like that, I really suggest you go over to Elena's channel, Elena Denain, and check her channel out for news and stuff like that. Because she's usually got a lot better news than what us two have got. Just check her channel out and see what you think.
All we gotta say is that if you think we're well versed when it comes to the ET subject, Elena's the one that helped us get this first.
Yeah, check her channel out.
Absolutely. So, shall we do one more?
Let's one more, and then we can talk about some news. Right, go.
All right.
Right. I'm going to say this to you. Who asked that question? There's
actually a couple people who asked this.
Right.
So for those on the podcast side, the question is Chris quitting Bald and Bonkers to do Ghost Squad Scotland?
No, I am not quitting Bald and Bonkers. Ghost Squad Scotland is like a side hobby for me. It's something for me to do. It's something to take up my time. It's something for me to relax, something that I like to do. I can categorically guarantee you I will still be here for Saturday shows and Sunday shows. I can guarantee you I am not leaving Bald and Bonkers. There. Dakota, do you want to say anything about that?
I was going to say, for those of you who are trying to insinuate that shit or try to stir up shit, I'm just going to say this. Chris and I are the ones who built this shit. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he runs his Ghost Squad Scotland through Bald and Bonkers resources, and he's more than welcome to. He's had the keys. As for those of you who are assuming that he is quitting, the man's got to do something with his time, instead of just sitting around playing on Xbox all day.
I know, and there's only so much GTA someone can play. I mean, I did play Boom Beach, I'll admit that. I played Boom Beach, I did like a bit of Boom Beach.
I have nothing against sitting on the Xbox, but my God, every day this man's like, "Oh, you want to come on the Xbox? Oh, you want to come on the Xbox?"
Come on, I'm level 400 in GTA. I can't help it.
Okay.
Before I started in this, ladies and gentlemen, I used to play the Xbox 7 days a week. And now I play the Xbox maybe 3 days a week or something like that, or 4 days a week. Not as much as that. Not as long as that. It's when it's 5. Come on, I only play it for an hour and a half, man. It's not as if I'm, 2 hours. That's a lie. 2 hours a night.
Oh, okay. I honestly can't judge because there's certain games that were like, wait, where'd the sunlight go? Realizing it's been 10 hours straight and I haven't gotten up.
Do you know something? Before we go, why don't you spin it just one more time? Just spin it one more time. I want to see if one of the questions. I want to see if
see if we can land on a funny.
Alright. God, dear Jesus, help us all. I think you should take this one.
Why am I the one that? Okay.
Read it for the podcast.
All right. So the question is, and this is so we can roast some of the assholes that try to make fun of us. Are you guys on drugs? I fucking wish.
Aye.
Because some of this really shit would make a hell of a lot more sense.
I know. I mean, we did get some strange messages sent to us and stuff like that. I mean, that email we got no long ago, or what was that message sent in the Lena interview? Look, I can categorically guarantee you the only drugs we're on is caffeine and sugar. That's
caffeine, sugar, and occasional adrenaline when shit starts happening.
Yeah, that's that. I know this stuff is crazy, absolutely craziness. I mean, you just need to look at the world politics. You just need to look at some of the world leaders and stuff and ask the same question.
Those guys have definitely had drugs, but you got to realize the reason why we try to take the laid back, humorous kind of approach to these types of subjects is because this can get into some very sensitive areas for people, because these may be experiences they're not, they're not open to sharing quite yet. It may be involving some deep personal trauma that's happened to me on several occasions, both personally and with the cases I've worked. And just being able to just simply lay back, have a laugh, that helps people get comfortable, and that helps make the show what it's truly meant to be, is to help people tell their story, without judgment, without having to dance through any hoops, not having to slap any pretty logos on shit. It helps people tell their story, and that's how it will always remain. And if anybody comes to try to interfere with that, you ain't gonna like us.
Yeah, exactly. So, Dakota, what will we be doing next week? What's on the table news-wise?
What is next week? Next week, we will all be recovering from Valentine's Day, and the discount.
Go to visit you.
Thank God it's my payday this week, so there's discount chocolate day, and I can finish up on my favorite Reese's.
I can't eat them. Too sweet for me. I used to love the Reese's Pieces.
Reese's are my favorite.
You ever had Reese's ice cream? Or what about Reese's cereal? You can get Reese's cereal over here now. I don't get it over there.
Reese's Puffs. Reese's! It's a funny story. My mom, she went on a trip down to Vegas. And you wonder what she fucking brings me?
What?
She finds this place. It's kind of like a candy factory sort of place, and it's a Reese's box. It's a box of Reese's, styled to look like a vending machine. And you open the little slit on the front. It puts out little singles of Reese's. And I was like, I held on to that thing for the longest time. Refilled it constantly.
God.
So next week, Wait a second. Next week,
Do you have any?
we actually have a guest.
Do we? Who do we have?
We have the guys from Iron City Paranormal coming back again.
Oh.
And, just wait. They have a new guy that joined them not too long ago. So, and he may join us as well, and he may get scarred for life from the Bald and Bonkers experience. You never know.
Well, I'm looking forward to meeting him and terrifying him to his eternal soul forever. You know?
Oh, God. Yeah, I just want to open up another tab to bring up the form, and it looks like China just shut down the unidentified flying object.
Honestly, it's not what you think, ladies and gentlemen. If the day come, and when the day come, the real ones, they're not going to let you shoot them down. I can assure you in that.
Just think about this. There's been stories since the Second World War of people trying to shoot down weird objects in the sky, and all projectiles just pass right through it.
And
even direct energy weapons had no effect.
I had this conversation today with somebody, and people were like, "Oh, but we've got more sophisticated weapons. We've got F-15 jets and stealth fighters and stuff." I said, "These extraterrestrials that are visiting us are millions of years more advanced. They can fly between Mars and Earth in a couple of minutes." I mean,
even with the secret space programs, there's been craft said to be existing since the 60s that could make trips from Earth to Mars at their farthest points in their orbit within 90 minutes.
Yeah.
President Ronald Reagan has actually documented several huge craft from the secret space programs in his private journals.
Yeah.
And actually, I think, so with the link on the description, if you want to be a guest on our show, tell your story. You've had an abduction, haunting. We have a little form. Please do fill it out. This is all this does. It helps us, keep things organized, bring all the information up front, so that way we can help get your stuff out, and we're not having to scramble during the show.
Another thing I'm going to say is we've got that form to fill in for people to come on, guys. So it makes it easier for things. And don't come to me saying, "Oh, can I come on your show? Can you set it up for me?" kind of thing. You have to do it yourself. Because then what usually happens with me, and there's only so many times I'll do it, I'll set it up and then you don't appear. Then I'll set it up, then you don't appear. Then you set it up and you don't appear. And then you message me and then you don't appear. So this is why this is here. You do it. If you don't appear, what is it, a one-strike policy? You don't appear, second appear?
Yeah.
Have you an excuse?
If you had a legitimate excuse, like you just found out a relative was, relative in the hospital, we're not going to be hammering down on it. If you had a legitimate excuse, let us know within 24 hours. It's just professional courtesy.
Yes. Yeah. So don't bother coming to me if you want to come on the show. Fill that form in. I'm no secretary.
Yeah, no. However, that got started. The secretary position has been shot and bombed all to oblivion.
Everybody contacts me.
I know. First off, for those of you, there's people that try to say that, Dakota doesn't answer his messages. Yeah, you know what?
He's working. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll be honest. I have a bad habit about doing that, especially when it's girls I'm trying to get romantically involved with. Obviously, that's big no-no. But at the same time, I work nights, guys. Some of y'all are hitting me right as I'm trying to go to work. One of you almost made me get into a car crash because I was about to hit a couple dogs.
Really? When was this?
This was a few weeks ago. They tried calling me on Facebook. I have an older car. Yes, it does have a Bluetooth speaker put into it, but that was just a modification from the previous owner. Some dogs started running out in the middle of the street. I swerved to hit them. I was able to correct myself to where I didn't end up in a rollover, but that's another thing. I work nights, ladies and gents, and I gotta unplug sometimes too, just because I don't like dealing with people.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to come on the show, click the link in the chat, fill in the guest form. Don't be messaging Dakota or strange hours, and don't message me thinking that I'll put you in. I'll move somebody out the guest slots. To
Yeah,
put
no,
you
I
in.
can't believe somebody actually did that.
Yeah, I mean,
Because somebody who actually filled, now granted, a friend of theirs filled out the form because they weren't exactly tech savvy, but still. Someone who actually filled out the form. And another thing, one thing you run into when you do these types of podcasts is that you start to realize the number of people who say they're willing to do stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
Say you got 1,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 300 of them will say, "Oh, we'll buy your merch."
Yeah, and one
we'll
of them
do this. We'll donate. Only 2 or 3, maybe I'll actually follow through.
Yeah.
So with the form, you fill that in. That tells us you're serious about coming on. So that's the type of people we want to help out. People who are actually serious.
Aye, and they're no time wasters, because I really get annoyed with folk that say they'll come on, we set it all up, and then they just don't appear. And then they don't message me back. And then they message me back a week later saying, can I come on again? And I'll be like, but you missed it. And I'm like, oh, I forgot, sorry, I'll come on. And then they don't appear again. So don't fill in the form. Right? Yeah. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a fantastic week.
And the Sunday show next week is Iron City, but I got to thinking, we do all this dancing around about the deep state, especially with talks of a fake alien invasion coming about. Yeah. What if we start going into the fuckers that are actually starting this? What if we do a show? What if we do a show about Majestic?
Yes, let's talk about Majestic. Whoop. It's something that's very interesting but very dangerous at the same time.
Well, when you think about it, when certain presidents try to threaten with an army raid, they instill protocols that said, oh, if a political leader tries to shut us down, we'll assassinate him.
Yeah.
So, very dangerous territory.
Exactly.
Next week.
Catch you later, dudes. Have a great week. See you on Saturday.
See ya. Bye-bye.